Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today is the 9th day and we're going to learn about DOM manipulation. If you're ready, let's get started. So what is DOM in JavaScript actually? The DOM means document object model, which represents an HTML page as a tree structure, and it can easily interact with the DOM to dynamically update content, styles, and structure. So we can use document object model using the HTML page as a tree structure. So let's see how the DOM works in JavaScript with HTML. So we can do various things and different types of clicks or any kind of moves or actions with HTML using DOM. JavaScript provides methods to select and manipulate HTML elements. So we can select an element by their ID. So as you know, we can give an ID to any kind of tag, and we can select them on JavaScript by their ID. So let's do this on Visual Studio Code. So I have one index.html and I have JavaScript file. So I just want to remove this one, and I want to write here something. For example, h1 welcome to i.guy coding, for example, right? Okay, so this is a text or a title, and then I can give an ID for this. So I need to give ID. I can write title, right? And then in order to select this tag in JavaScript, we have to use DOM here, and by selecting this, we need to select by their ID. How we can do this? So we can write let title equal sign document.getElementById. This is a document keyword, and we can write here various getElementById, and after that we have to give simple brackets, and inside of brackets we have to write the title name or ID name with the string or quotation marks. So write title. So we already did it. So the next thing, we can see this on the console. So if I write here console.log title, we can see the ID title. So I can write node app.js. However, we're not seeing here because it doesn't work in our terminal. So we can see in the console of the browsers. So we'll open in the live server. So it's now opening. And now I want to open a console. Let's open a console. And we have IDs coming here, as you can see. If I just remove this and update, so this HTML title is coming to us. So the next thing is selecting an element by class name or tag name. So using class name or tag name, we can even select on JavaScript. So how we can do this in Visual Studio Code? I'm just going to give a class for this, and I'm going to call this title1, maybe title also, we can write it, right? 1 should be. And then we can put here 1, and we need to just change getElementById. Instead of this, we can write getElementByClassName. So write getElementByClassName and title1. And to put here title. So let's see. So as you can see, our title is coming in our console with this one. So the next thing, we can get this by their tag name. So we can put h1 again, or maybe paragraph, right? And I want to write here lorem 5, and I can even get this p by its name. How? I will write get element by tag name, and I need to just replace the tag, which is p, this one, and we're getting our paragraph tag, as you can see. So we have 3 types of selecting: by ID, by tag name, and by class name. Using querySelector and querySelector all, also we can select the elements on JavaScript. So as you can see here an example, so we have h1, right, and p, and I want to select by the querySelector h1. So I have to write, let's just comment this, and let's write new one. Let title equal to document dot querySelector, and here I'll be writing any of them. If I want to select by class, I have to put dot. If I want to get by ID, I have to put hash. And if I want to get by its tag name, I have to put p or something else. If I write p, we'll be getting the paragraph. So in order to see this, we have to write console.log title, and now we are getting our p now. Okay, so now we can continue. The next one is querySelector all. querySelector all, which selects all the elements with the class item. So, for example, here I have 2. I want to make also this class title1, and if I write this one querySelector.title1, what will happen? So if I write this, by default it's getting the first one, which is the h1, right? But p is not coming. In order to take the p also, we have to write all. It means it will take all the class names with title1. And if we look at this, it's coming to h1 and p. So querySelector between querySelector and querySelector all differences are querySelector only selects only one element, but querySelector all, if we have multiple names or paragraphs or classes or IDs, it can select all of them. So best practice, use querySelector and querySelector all for more flexibility. Modifying content and styles. So in DOM manipulation in JavaScript ES6, we can change the HTML content in JavaScript. Really? Yes, this is real. How we can do this actually? So we will choose their by ID, and then we can change their text using inner text or inner HTML of this methods or accessing queries. How we can do this actually? Let's go back to our content, and we have tag with the welcome to AK coding, and we have lorem ipsum dolor sit amet, this one, right? This is Latin words. So I wanted to change this both of them to English to another words, right? And I want to change this Latin to English also. So how can I do this? So I have already chosen title1, both of them. So if I want to change this, I have to write title, because we have this, right? And as you can see, we can write here dot inner text. We'll write inner text or inner HTML. And if I write hello world, so if I update this, we'll be seeing here hello world inner HTML. So it's being changed. However, I want to change here. How can I do this? In order to do this, as here as an example, we have to write inner text and then we have to change. So if I write inner text and if we go back, it is also working. So inner text is also changed with the word we wrote before. I want to change this one. I will just take it is by ID or by tag name. So how can I do this? Right here. Let's open this one. Yep, we have P, and here I will write dot inner text is equal to hello world. Now hello world is coming. Yep, it's being changed. So let's continue. So the next thing is changing CSS styles. So we can even give some CSS styles using JavaScript. So how we can do this? So we need to use the tag or the method, which is style, this keyword, and then we can give some styles for that. But if we use one style, we have to give only one design. So it means we cannot give multiple. So how can we do this? So here we have, I want to just get a new, I want to delete this one, and I will get this by its title. I will write let, I will write color, the variable name, and I can write document.querySelector with this one, and I'll write color.style.color. Actually, we have to give this maybe color one because it's a keyword. We cannot use this. Color one style.color is equal to red. And if we go back, as you can see, our text is being changed to red color. So we successfully done. Even we can change it to another colors with giving a specific name. The next thing is adding and removing classes. So even we can access by JavaScript to HTML3, and we can even add and remove the classes. So how can we do this? In order to do this, as you can see, we have a style, we have a class now, and I want to remove this class. How? I will just remove this, and I will write here color one dot remove, and we have class list, right? So we can need to use first class list, or class list, and dot remove of title1, and I want to add a new one for title2 with the name title2. And now if we go back and if we look at color1 console log, we'll be seeing title2. So we are no longer seeing title1 because we have removed and we have added a new one. If I remove this, we'll not be seeing any classes for P. So this is working without any errors. So this is a DOM characteristics. So if we don't have any class here, I'm just going to remove from HTML, and I wanted to add this one, so I can get this one by getElementByTagName, right? And I will write here instead of title1 just P, and then I can add title. And if we look at back, so we have an error coming because we have to give a specific index. So this is an index of giving specific if we are using getElementByTagName, because it should actually needs to specify, you have to specify the index of the paragraph, because we have only one paragraph and the index starts with 0. So I gave so that 0. If I'm using querySelector here, I don't need to give this actually. So this is working without any errors. So it depends on you. I mostly recommend using querySelector. It's much more easier. So you have learned changing the HTML content with using inner text and inner HTML, and you have learned changing CSS styles in JavaScript using style, and you have also learned adding and removing classes using class list. So, and now we're going to learn about handling events. We have click, input, and etc. So JavaScript can listen for user actions and respond dynamically. Handling click events, how it happens. So as you know, here we're getting an element by the HTML element by its ID called btn, and we are adding add event listener, which is a basic of DOM. And most users, JavaScript developers use this in order to make actions for something, for a specific tag. And we are using click, which is the specification of JavaScript of the add event listener, and we are writing function here. When the user clicks at that button, the function works and it gives an alert from top, and button was clicked will be appeared. So let's do this. So I'm going to put here a button. So I'll write button, right? And I want to give this an ID, which is called btn, and I will write alert inside of this. So let's fix this first. And now what we are going to do here, I'll just comment, and then I'll be writing here let btn equal sign document querySelector. I'm going to take by ID, right? And now I have to write here btn.addEventListener click, and I have to close first this and this one too, and I will write alert, and I will write inside btn is clicked, or maybe button we can write button clicked. And if we go to our website and we have this alert button, and if I click this, as you can see, button clicked message is coming from the Chrome, and this is working without any issues. So the next thing we're going to learn, handling input events, which is typing in a text box. So as you can see, we are getting a text box by its ID, which is name input, and we are adding event listener with the name input, which is a specification of add event listener in JavaScript. And we are changing this value to this value. So we're changing getElementById, which is output, and we have this one also, another text, and we're putting inner text this dot value. So we can handle this one also. So we'll be writing here another thing, which is input, and we can give input ID. So I will just copy this, and here I will write let input equal sign document querySelector input. Yep, it was an input. And I will be writing input dot add event listener. So we have to remove this input, and then we can write function, and here we'll be writing this one. I think we have to write this curly braces out of this, and if I write here document dot write input value. So if I write something inside of the input, it will be appeared in the document. Really? let's do this. Let's see. So I'll just make it smaller. I'll write something, so it's appearing as. So this is working fine, right? Most recommendable one is better to do into the console. Write console.log, and let's write down. Now, as you can see in the console, this is coming. If I write, for example, John, this is coming like J, J-O, J-O-H, and J-O-N. So this is coming without errors. So this is an input add event listener. So you can use add event listener instead of onClick for cleaner code in HTML. The next thing, we are going to do some interactive web page. So the task one is change the background color on button click. So if you click a button, the background will be changed. This is very easy. How we can do this? Instead of giving an alert, I'm just going to get the body. So how can I get the body actually? Let's write down here, let body. Now write document dot querySelector body. And now we got the body, and I will write body dot style background color maybe red. So if I click this alert, the background color of the body will be red. Now this is working fine. This is a magic. So the next task is real-time text display. So if you write something, it will appear. So using input. So how it works actually. In order to do this, we have to again use input, which is this one, as you can see. So we can just copy this. I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to put them. So for now, I will just remove this input, and I will put this one. Then we can take this, and we can put it here. And I can just remove this. So let's see how it works. So if I write something, so we have some kind of errors coming, invalid or token at here. What kind of error we have? Let's check that. Because we did a copy paste, so that we have error. We have to remove this thing. Actually, I think it's coming from Visual Studio Code, so there are not any errors actually. Let's see. Let's write down. So this is working in real-time typing. If I write John, this is coming too. If I press alert, this is changing to the red. So, and now let's continue. So the next thing is assignment for you. So I think we have learned more things about DOM manipulation and how we can interact with JavaScript and with the HTML3. So create a web page with a button that toggles between light and dark themes. So currently, if I go back to browser, if I press one time, it's changing to red, but it's not coming back. So you have to toggle it with coming back. So you can do this. You can create a CSS file, and you can write different colors with two styles. And then when one time is clicked, add a class list. And when time is not clicked, remove that class list. This is fine, and it works without any errors. So if you have any questions, just comment below and hit the subscribe button and share with your friends. Thank you. See you in the next videos.